Hey guys, what's up? It's once again mp4podcast.com. I'm making a video tutorial on how to do capture gameplay footage with a camcorder. Now, a camcorder will not be as good as a capture card, and the audio will not be as good. However, you can still put out a pretty good damn product. And the number one key to putting out videos on YouTube or any Vimeo, it doesn't matter where you put videos out, personality. Okay, if it's personality is the number one thing. So what you want to do if you have a camcorder is you want to be in full manual control. And that's what we're going to talk about right here. Now, let me just start this up, and I'm going to start talking in manual control about all the settings you need. And I'm going to pull up my other Sanyo camera so I don't forget any of these settings that I need to tell you guys about. Video. If you have the choice, record in progressive scan. That's 1080p or 720p. You can do 1080i. It'll probably still come up pretty well. Now, I can only say this. It seems to be the best recording off of LCD screens. Plasma screens seem to be problematic. I don't have a plasma, but I saw somebody else on YouTube, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze, that had a lot of problems filming off of a plasma set. So the settings you want to be in is 1080p or 720p. You can still do 1080i if you want, but I'd rather do 720p. Okay, now my Sanyo has a filter setting. You can put it in cosmetic. It might boost the colors up just a little bit. Okay. So ISO, I set my ISO at 50. So let me just start this up, and you're going to see a very nice transition with cutscenes. You're not going to see the exposure changing around. And oops, wrong one. I like to use this one right here. All right. I set my ISO at 50. Let me just turn up the audio for a second.
To get their hands on this drone.
As you can see, I'm talking over the video game footage.
Good karma. The cyber weapon. Wait there. Right,
and the audio is pretty good. You're going to hear the game audio pretty well.
Image with active US corporate logos.
Now I'm just going to lower it just to continue talking. I set my ISO at 50. Each camcorder will be different, but the lower you can go and still get the good exposure will be the ISO you want to use. Okay, so ISO, I use ISO 50. I've been known to use ISO 100 and 200. But, okay, next thing you want to do is white balance. Okay, now, usually my Sanyo is pretty good at automatic white balance, and it's not really going to change when filming the television. You can probably get away with always using automatic. However, I still prefer to use manual. And, you're going to have to find the setting in manual. It's either going to be fluorescent, it might be incandescent, but you want to see the one that looks the same as automatic, okay? You do that, and just use the home screen, the Xbox 360 home screen or the PS3, whatever one you want to use. That's usually the rule of thumb. Okay, next is exposure. You want to be in manual control. This controls your aperture and shutter. Your shutter is always going to be double of what your frame rate is. So if you're recording at 30 frames, your shutter will be 60th of a second. If you go higher on the shutter, your video will look choppy. Now, if you're using 1080i and you go higher than 60, you can get really bad interlacing lines, and your video will really look screwed up. So, watch out for 1080i. You can't go double what the frame rate is on that one. But even on 1080p or 720p, you still want to be very high. The only time you want to be higher is if you want to do super slow motion with filmmaking tricks. I'm not even talking about filming video game footage. I'm talking about in real life filming. Or if you want to film something being choppy or some weird things. So what I do is, on the Sanyo I'm recording now, right now, my aperture is, let me just start moving, is f2.8, okay? I'm on f2.8, and, from what I saw when I put it on ISO 50, and I played around with the, I set my shutter, like I said, at 60th of a second. Then I started playing with the aperture, and 2.8 looked as close to what I was getting on the television. Just try and give you some colors, the blues and the yellow hats those guys are wearing. So I'm just going to be moving around so you guys can see some different colors. 2.8 looked the closest. Now, you're not going to get the exposure of every part of the picture. Some parts may look a little bright, some parts may look a little dark. Usually, on a game like Gears of War, like when I was playing Gears of War 3, that game looked like the colors were even. It was like on a cloudy day, so the colors are all pretty much the same. As you can see, I'm in this hotel, and the windows, you can see the windows they're blown out, but they're even blown out on the television set. They're supposed to be like that. But sometimes you can even blow out parts of the image even more. Like, I'm looking at this LCD screen, and that picture of that guy and the girl, that looks really overexposed in the viewfinder. However, when I bring this back into the television, my laptop, that may not look that blown up. Because remember, the LCD screens are not 100% accurate. Like right now, I'm looking at these windows, and I can see some detail of the rest of the building that's outside, and I can't see that part of the image in the LCD screen. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come up closer. See the rest of the building? You can see a little bit of that detail still there on the television, but that's like really starting to get blown out in the viewfinder. Like, it's really hard to see. And, so you're going to have like hot spots and some dark spots. However, overall, it's still going to hold up pretty well. And don't worry about that too much. Some of that detail, a little bit blown out here, a little darkness. People aren't going to really even care about it. What they're going to care about it is crappy video where it's just not watchable. Nobody wants to watch a video where, the bit rate's really bad. It's standard definition, and it's 4:3. Try to get something that's 16:9. You want to record in 16:9. As you can see, this video looks pretty well. The colors look a little bit different than the colors that are on my television set, but overall they look pretty well. And I have to say, it's usable. It's good quality. It's still 720p. It's not going to be as sharp as, Capture Card 720p, but it's still pretty well. So let's just play a little bit of this and, just play just a little bit. This ain't going to the air vent because the air vent, is a little bit dark. So give you a little bit more of an idea of when the exposure is changing. And again, some games you'll have to play with the settings a little bit. That's just a rule of thumb of this, what the settings should probably be. Again, like if you're using like a really high-end Canon or Sony, that's a newer camera. Maybe your family has one, you can use it. Will be a little bit better in low light than my Sanyo, which is camera that came out in 2009. So maybe your ISO 50 or ISO 50 would probably still be the same. It's just that you could probably go higher in the ISO. So again, that a little bit mixed up. It'll probably be the same. But again, double check your settings. You probably should still be pretty good. So right now we're just gonna quit, and we're just gonna start up another video, another cutscene, and that's gonna pretty much be the end of this video tutorial. And wondering if I'm gonna run out of time, so we're just gonna start right here and just see where the video takes us. So that looks pretty good. Alright, let's just skip this. Can we skip this? Let's just have the game load up. Now, and I'm running out. I've got about 20 seconds of time left on my memory card. So I'm just going to let it run, and then the video will be over, guys. So, yeah. Sorry about that. And, yeah, it looks pretty well. So I'm just moving around the camera like this, and the video will be over really soon. Take care.